Every parent knew everybody's child.
When we sat down with these lifelong friends in 2017, we began to hear the stories of a group of first grade students in the late 1940s.
It takes a village to raise a child. And that's what we have here in Cave Springs.
Since our visit, that village has now raised a school's forgotten history to the forefront in Floyd County.
I never dreamed that it was going to be restored.
This classroom on a hill had been covered up with the passage of time until Joyce Purdue Smith returned to town and unearthed the history of the Fairview campus.
About 10 years ago, we began a trek to restore what we didn't know to be a national treasure.
You can see how they sort of mounded the dirt.
The classroom, covered in vines, sat just up the hill from a lone chimney that was once attached to another school built in 1924.
Booker T. Washington had the vision. Julius Rosenwald provided the funding.
It was one of 5,000 schools for African Americans built in the South with seed money from the CEO of Sears and Roebuck.
Down here was the Rosenwald building, and there were two individual classroom buildings up the hill, and that was the Fairview campus.
Joseph Smith came on board as a preservation architect as the community began to raise money for restoration.
So many times over the last 9 years, we really worried about its stabilization and whether it was going to fall or not.
There was a big hole in the roof, and one wall was trying to fall out, and there was in danger of losing the entire building.
He says grants have historically unequally funded an unequal history.
Fairview is a unique place, but it is not unique in the sense that there are a lot of buildings that are connected to African American history in Georgia and all over the South that are largely neglected, and they're in pretty rough shape.
Thankfully, public grants, community donations, and private gifts came just in time for Fairview.
Seeing the restoration of this building brought back memories, and it reminded me that in the era in which I was growing up here, even though there was some limitation, but it did not deter us from wanting to get an education.
What I love about this project is that it shows that it can be done.
Now, sights are set on Phase 2.
Now that we have a building that's viable, that's put back together again, what does it mean? How does it function? What can it bring back to the community?
They want to hear the laughter of children on the hill again. And so I plan to do everything that I can to see that their dream becomes true.